Hey guys, it's Blayde again from Car Audio Security. Now in today's video we're going to be following on from my last video in the shop project Civic where we showed you how to do a basic install of a sub and amp. Today's video is going to consist of tuning the sub and amp once it's been fitted. So what I'm going to do is go through the basic steps you want to use to ensure you're getting good sound quality and you're not damaging the sub in any way through the head unit and also tuning through the amp. So if you do want a bit more, so this is just going to be a bit more basic. If you do want more in-depth tuning video setup, so if you want us to show you how you would tune via a multimeter and that kind of thing, please leave a comment down below and we'll be sure to get that on the channel very soon. But today's video we're just going to focus on the basic setup. So first of all, what we need to do is obviously we have our head unit on. We've got our ignition on and we're ready to go. So we need to go into our settings. So you want to go settings and audio. Now obviously this is on our JVC head unit we installed earlier. The setup may look a bit different in other vehicles, but it's going to be the same concept. Now personally what I like to start doing first of all is setting the crossovers. So what a crossover is essentially is a filter. So you have, it's set as basically a high pass or a low pass or through. So a high pass filter essentially is whatever number you set that at, whatever frequency it's set at, it will play everything from that frequency and above. And a low pass filter is the opposite, so it will play everything from that frequency and below. And then through is basically full range, there's no cut-offs anywhere. So this is very important for the subwoofers and the speakers. If your vehicle is bone stock and you've just chucked a head unit in there, you're probably going to be playing bass through the door speakers, which at high volumes, as I'm sure you're aware, you get quite a lot of distortion. So what I tend to do is on the head unit is my front and rear, I will set a high pass filter. If I'm running stock speakers, depending on their ability, in these JDM vehicles, the stock speakers aren't amazing, I'll be honest. So I would tend to run a high pass filter quite high. So I will probably run this between 120 and 150 hertz. That way you can turn these up nice and loud and they're not going to distort too much. So I'm going to set that at 120 hertz. Slope is currently at minus 12 dB per octave. You can turn that up to minus 18 and minus 24. All that does, you can probably see it on the diagram here, is it will curve. So let's put it at minus 12 where it starts. So that 120 hertz, it starts rolling off at 120 hertz and it goes minus 12 dB in volume per octave of sound. So basically that just rolls off. If you go higher or lower, it's minus 24, it will cut off quicker. So down here is obviously very, very low volume, but that's going to cut off that low frequency. So if you're still getting, even at 120 hertz, but you don't want to cut off more mid-bass, if you're still getting distortion, you can turn your slope up as well. So that's a good thing to know. And obviously if your front speakers are overpowering your rear speakers or whatever, you can turn the gain down on that particular channel. Now the rear, I will tend to do the same, if not slightly higher. So roughly 120 hertz. And you can start seeing the crossover forming. That's why it's called a crossover, because it crosses over like that. So it's crossing. So we've got 120 hertz, we're going to leave it at minus 12 and 0. Now subwoofer. Low pass frequency or low pass filter is, like I said, the opposite of high pass. Whatever frequency I set here, the subwoofer will play everything from that down below lower frequencies. So because these are 10s, I will probably keep that at around 100 hertz. That way they can play a little bit of mid bass as well, nice punchy bass, and also do the lower frequencies. Minus 12 dB is absolutely fine for that. And you can also set phase inversion. So if your subwoofers are kicking out first or kicking in first, you can swap that around. But that's pretty much that done. So next what I'll do, if your head unit has this ability, you can set the car type. This doesn't really make too much of a difference, but I like to set it up anyway. So it's a compact vehicle, 16 centimeter front speaker. The location is the lower door area, and we have a non-tweeter setup, and the same for the rear. And then the sub is a 25, so 210s, 25 centimeter in the compact. So that's that done. Okay, so next what we'll go into is EQ. No, so an EQ is essentially a way of tuning, like fine-tuning the sound of the system. This is a 13-band EQ, which will range from 62.5 Hertz to 16 kilohertz. That allows you to give your audio system a complete kind of overhaul and tweak anything that you think it doesn't have enough of or has too much of, so you can pull it back or boost it up as much as you need to. Now this system is massively lacking any kind of treble. We haven't changed the door speakers yet. We are going to do it, but I will definitely be boosting up these higher frequencies. So I'd say from 1.6 kilohertz up to 16 kilohertz, they'll be boosted right up. The mids out of the doors actually isn't too bad, so I'll probably leave that pretty flat around the 1K to 250 hertz. And then below there, we will play around with the EQ for the sub. I'd probably drop it a little bit just because the door speakers can't really keep up that well. But when we change all of that, we'll play around with it again. So yeah, you can manually adjust this as much as you want. So let's say we wanted to boost this. Obviously you do this whilst you're listening to music. If you hear any distortion, then obviously just back it off a little bit. This is not designed to just basically throw everything up in the air like that. It's not how it works. You basically want to use it with a pinch of salt, basically. You can pull stuff back. It's designed to slightly boost and slightly pull back if you need to. So don't just go boosting everything because you'll just get loads of distortion. So you also have presets on most head units. You'll have presets like pop and bass boost and hard rock, that kind of thing. So you can play around with it, see which one you prefer. You don't have to set your own one if you don't want to. You can just use the preset ones that are there. Now bass extension, that's just basically certain frequencies are going to be boosted a little bit better. And then subwoofer level, so you can physically adjust the sub level. You can turn it down from there or you can turn it up from there. But we've got our bass controller over this side, so we don't really need to play with that too much. So from there, you've got position. So this is down to stuff like time alignment and how you want the sound to reach your ears and how you want it to be sound stage wise. So what you can do is, obviously it's currently set at all. So most of the time you're going to leave it on all, most people. If you do want the sound to be focused more to the driver, you can set it to front right or front left or front all. So that you can set that. You can also manually adjust this. Now this looks very, very complicated, I'll be honest. I understand that. All it is measurements. So literally all you would do, if you want a perfect kind of time alignment set up to your ears for the driver, all you would do is measure from say your front right speaker to your right ear, and then you would put that measurement in here. So you would turn it up to, let's say 115 centimeters, if that's how far it is. Then you would go from your left speaker to your left ear, and then you'd go up to, this is probably going to be more than that, so let's say 123 centimeters. And the rears, you can do that, and then the sub, and then that way you'll find the sound, it literally sounds like it's coming from on the dash. So you can play around with that. You don't need to mess with it, I'll be honest, you don't have to, but if you do want to fine tune the system, you can do that. Now, other things you can play with, obviously fader and balance. If you do want more volume from the rear or from the front, you can play around with that. You can obviously boost it to the left or to the right. Most of the time it's just going to be left in the middle though. You can just hit center, that makes your life easier. Volume offset, so certain sources you can play around with the volume offset and turn them up and down. And then sound effects. Now Kenwood and JVC are pretty good for their sound effects. You can definitely get the sound to be very, very rich with their certain settings here. Now bass boost is my biggest pet peeve. I don't know why they still put bass boost on head units. I will never want to see anyone using bass boost on a head unit, especially if they've got a subwoofer in there. You don't need to use bass boost. All you're doing is introducing distortion into the system. If it's not enough bass, you need more power, you need more sub. So don't try and bass boost it up. I always leave that on off. Loudness is another thing. You can play around with loudness if you want to. If your factory speakers aren't quite loud enough, you can turn that up and down. But it's not too bad, you can play with that. Volume link EQ, that's to kind of level out the volume of your system. So if if you've set your bass quite high and your treble quite high, but your mid's lacking a little bit, it will flatten it out, keep it more of the same volume. Space enhancement, this is actually really nice. I like to see this. This is for different size vehicles that you've got the audio system in, or just different size scenarios. So obviously you can change that from off, small, medium and large, and you will hear the difference. It changes the spatial sound of the system. It does sound really, really nice. So that's good to see that. K2 is the JVC's kind of special EQ setup. It's the same as Kenwood's Supreme. It basically just boosts everything up, makes it sound nice and bright. Sound response, again, is just like an EQ tune, so you can play with that. Doesn't change it too much. And then sound lift, again, if you're not quite got enough of certain frequencies, say the low frequencies, the middle and the high, you can boost them as well. So I'll probably have that on high to boost up my high frequencies. And then you've got audio memory, so you can save what you've done. That's pretty much it with the head unit. Obviously, we've got our bass controller over here on the right hand side, so we can turn the bass up and down as we need to. But once that's done, we can start tuning at the amp. Okay, so we're now at the back of the vehicle. We're going to be tuning the amp. So what we're going to need to do is get ourselves a screwdriver of some kind. Usually a small flathead is easiest to use, and obviously we need to access the amp. So I've pulled it off of its mount, and we're going to get into it. So if we have a look here, we have our adjustments. So we have, from the left, we have LPF, which is low pass filter, which is the same as what we had on the head unit. Now, if we've set it on the head unit, we don't necessarily need to mess around with it here, so we can leave that alone. Boost, this is bass boost, same as again on the head unit. I don't want to be seeing anyone playing with that. You don't need to be turning that up. The main two we want to play around with are subsonic and gain. So subsonic is basically the opposite of a low pass filter. What this basically will do is we'll make the sub only play above the frequency you set it at here, and then up to the frequency you've set on the low pass filter. So basically what this does is protects the subs from playing too low a frequency and damaging themselves. So what we'll do is it starts from 10 Hertz, goes up to 50 Hertz. So what I'll do is I'll turn it to probably about just under a quarter. That should get me to about 25-30 Hertz. These subs aren't going to play that low, so I think I'll set it there. Now our gain, this is the main thing we want to be looking at. So the gain is very important. This is not a volume knob. I don't, again, want to be seeing this turn all the way up. That's just literally going to blow your sub at some point. So the gain is relative to the output of the amp. So you need to basically, a good rule of thumb is you shouldn't be going past 3/4 on the gain adjustment on the amp. Now, like I said, there is a proper way of tuning this using a multimeter, which will give you the actual wattage that you're needing for your sub. But a good rule of thumb is I tend to go, if it was a clock, I would tend to go about 1 o'clock. It's usually pretty safe there, and then we'll listen out for any distortion, and then we can turn it back from there. So I'm going to turn it up to roughly 1 o'clock. About there, which is just past halfway, and we should be fine. So then we're going to listen out for any distortion in the sound from the sub. If it's a bit too much, and we can just back it off a little bit. But yeah, that's basically it. This is not too much of adjustments on this amp. Some amps have other adjustments you can play around with, but because it's just a sub amp, it's not too much to it. So we can fit this back now. There we go. And we are done. So again, we'll just listen out for any distortion. Hopefully everything sounds a lot brighter and a lot more bassy. As I said, the playing around with the crossovers and stuff will allow the factory speakers to be a lot more efficient, because you're cutting off all of that bass that they don't need to play because your sub's doing all that. And then that way just everything sounds a lot better. And then when you upgrade the speakers, you'll get that quality boost as well. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the tuning. So as I said, This is just a basic tuning setup. Again, if you do want me to go more in depth with using a multimeter and showing you a bit more in depth in tuning, then please leave a comment where you can try and get this on the channel in a future video. But that's pretty much it. So all you need to do now is just obviously sit and listen. Listen to a few different types of music, different genres, and make sure you listen to it at the normal volume you would usually listen to it. So that way you can have a little play around, tweak certain bits. If you need more treble, then boost up the higher frequencies. If you need a bit more bass, then you boost up the lower frequencies a little bit. But just bear in mind, don't go too mad. Once you've added an amp to something, try not to boost it too much from the head unit, because you're just going to introduce distortion, and I've seen it time and time again. Don't try and get too much out of what you have, because you will just end up blowing it. You don't want to do that because you're not covered under warranty then. So if you've got a subwoofer and you're not getting enough from it and you need to boost it from the head unit, you need to buy a more powerful subwoofer, unfortunately. But yeah, most of the time you should be fine. So have a little tweak with it, different types of music, you should be good. So that's pretty much it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's very informative for you. Any other questions or comments you've got, leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video.